Hello. I got check you for a second. All right. Let's make sure we are live and proper. Live and proper. Which we are. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name is Ryan. I get stuff from yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores, and a handful of other places and try to make a few extra bucks online. This week, pretty decent sales and a pretty good haul of stuff over the past over the past weekend. Um, hit and there was an estate sale going on over probably about the past week and a half. It was a big estate sale. This dude had like two shops full of stuff, a bunch of Mustang stuff, for a bunch of Ford Mustang stuff, like old cars in the back that were being worked on, and parts all over the place and all that sort of stuff. So this dude apparently, I think there were at least three classic cars uh, out there. I don't think I think the family kept them, but there were like three classic cars and just a bunch of stuff around, and it was some neat finds out there. I didn't get as much as I wanted. One, I ran short on cash, and two, they wouldn't make a couple deals, so that which is fine, which is perfectly all right. I think if I'd have gone back Saturday, I might have been able to get a couple other things, but I didn't. I just felt like garbage, and uh, it was all it was all flea market stuff that I would have gotten. So I got some other stuff to deal with. So that's what that was. And so I'm going to show you a few toy finds that I got from there that were a real good, a handful of sales, and I would say it's a pretty decent weekend, last few days, past week for finding books. And we'll go over some of that. So jumping into sales first. Sales first. All right. What we got? Mostly bread and butter level sales stuff, and we'll start at the top. This this is the back end of a diecast. This is diecast of the Enterprise from Star Trek Next Generation. The disc part went on here because in the show they could separate. I think they showed in the first episode, and then like sporadically thereafter. But anyway, that's what that is. This went for $11. This is like the original vintage one or something like that. So this bad boy went for $11. It was in a bag full of random. Actually, this bag of random toy cars I got for $8. So more or less paid for that with this. So I got one more Enterprise thing that actually may be a $20 to $30 item. And I want to say these used to not be worth as much. And I think the price on these ran up a little bit. So keep an eye out for old Star Trek stuff. Apparently, like I know some of the recent resurgence, even though apparently the latest show is not good, people are getting some of the stuff. So anyway, uh, next up, got this Thursday, I guess. Dr. Demento 20th anniversary collection. 2 CDs, $11. Got it for a buck at a yard sale. So super clean condition. This is like in somebody old people thing find. So $11, quick flip. Didn't underprice it or anything. Just kind of put it at the right price and sold pretty quickly there. All right, this one is starting to be not quite a big bolo, but this is the second one like this I think I've sold in the past while. This is an old Sears sales catalog, and this is like the little skinny one. This went for $11, and I've only had it listed. Maybe I don't know if I've had it listed more than 2 months. So vintage catalog stuff sells. Now the big find is the wish books. Those are like the Christmas wish books with all the old toys. Those are huge, collectible right now. The big thick catalogs. They're not as big a sale. I've sold a couple. I've sold one, and they go like 15, $20, give or take. So you gotta get those pretty cheap to make money on them. But this one, this was, and I was a little, and this didn't take long to sell either. So quick $11. All right, moving on. Occult stuff. Read with discretion. The middle pillar. Balance between might and magic. Yeah, $11. Wacky religious stuff sells. Always has, always will. So look it all up when you find it. Again, another fast seller. I don't think I've had less than 2 weeks. So that one went pretty quick. And older versions of that book go a little bit higher. All right, our next lower seller, and I'm surprised these took this long to sell. I've had these since like this summer. Are R.L. Stine babysitter books. R.L. Stine novels sell decently. These 3 sold for $16. Got a bunch of them all at one time. They're pretty good at selling in the $3 to $5 range in bundles. There's a couple that go higher. Some of the Fear Street you can do individually, but these babysitter sort of horror books or whatever went $16 for those 3, and I get those if I can get those for $1 or less, I always grab them. On the R.L. Stine, not the Goosebumps. The only Goosebumps I get now are the old Goosebumps. Unless I can get a whole bunch at one time for like 50 cents a piece or less. But other than that, and those tend to go actually on Facebook Marketplace rather than eBay. So that's that. Okay, the big sale. I was happy to see these go. I thought I would get a little bit more for them, but that happens sometimes. There's 4 of these, 4 books. The Encyclopedia of Philosophy, and there's 4 books in this series, and I'll just pull out one more of them because these are big and heavy. And these went for $44 for the 4 books. So that was a good find. I was happy to. I had those a few months. Those sold a little bit slower again than I thought they might. And I've been trickling the price down on them. I think I probably started them at $60, and been trickling the price down on them. So that's where that is. All right, finds for this week: bunch of books and some neat toys. And so, toys: Transformers Generation Sideswipe. It's probably about a $12 figure. No, take that back. This may be a $20 figure. 44 pounds. That's a lot. It's not 44 pounds. $44, not pounds. Hope I didn't say pounds. Rewind it. Make sure I didn't say pounds because I meant dollars. 44 pounds is a big buy. That may be 20 pounds of books. No, this is going to be a big one. Higher number. And okay, so Sideswipe finds. Oh, this was a fun find. Couple fun finds here. All right, bread and butter stuff. This is The Gray King by Susan Cooper from the Dark is Rising series. This is a first edition, second printing, hardcover with dust jacket, and this may be a $30 book. This series sells pretty well. Particularly like the first editions, but if you get like all 4 in paperback form, those will move. So that's the Dark is Rising series. They're worth grabbing if you can find them. Next, this I'll get to the fun find in a second. Baptist hymnal, again, bread and butter. This is actually a some sort of book cover on like the maroon Baptist hymnal. $15, give or take. And finally, this Games Workshop magazine catalog thing. This is the company that made the original Warhammer books. And so this may be a $10 to $15 magazine. I had to snag it because it's actually really neat to look through, to see some of the original Warhammer stuff. I actually got a Warhammer. I sold a Warhammer book last week for $30, 20, $30. That went pretty quick. All right. These two. That estate sale yielded this book. Like I said, it had a bunch of Mustang stuff. Mustang Recognition Guide. This is a $15 book, give or take. So this was neat find there. There was a church yard sale. That's where I got that Great King book, and I got a couple Bibles from it, and one more big that's out there. Okay, so we'll get to the fun part of the finds, and that is these bad boys. Some Nylint Napa Auto Parts truck. 3 of these and 4 of these, plus a handful of other stuff. Well, a couple things I'm going to show you. The big trucks are weirdly not worth as much. I'll probably bring those out to the flea market, try to get $30 a piece for them. Shipping those would be a pain. If they were $100 trucks, I would put them on eBay, but I'm actually not going to. Because shipping them would just eat everything up. And so if I can get cash money for them in the $30 range, I'll do it. I may actually put them on Facebook Marketplace. These are a little bit better, a little bit easier to ship. These are genuine, like $40 trucks, $30 to $40 trucks shipped, and these will bring in a little bit better because the size will a whole lot easier to ship the smaller stuff. But those are Nylint trucks. Love old metal trucks. Almost thought about collecting them at one time, but they take up a bunch of room. The estate sale had even older stuff, but they had it properly priced. Let's put it that way. So if you were a collector, you would probably get some good stuff there. But they had a shed full. These were all in a shed. The guy at least had them out of the weather. But if I don't know if you saw, the packaging's a little rough, got moisture and stuff in it. So these are all be good trucks for like to buy and open. Sometimes some people want that, which is good sometimes. So is to be able to crack open something and have something that really is brand new on the shelf, and not have to worry about damaging vintage packaging. If you ever Craigslist or I don't do Craigslist anymore. I probably should surf Craigslist to look for stuff, but it's really just Facebook Marketplace now. Facebook Marketplace, I think there's a couple things that I think people don't necessarily know about. It's not just getting in a bunch of local yard sale groups. What you need to do on Facebook Marketplace is find hobby groups and niche groups. Like I do a lot we homeschool our kids, and I'm in a handful of homeschool resource buy and sell groups, and I sell a ton of books, and there's really specific books that sell really well in like the $3 range on Facebook Marketplace to those groups. For instance, these books, these great illustrated classics. If I get more than about, I need to find some more. But if I can get 4 or 5 together, if I can buy them for $1 a piece or cheaper, I get them, because these are easy sales for about $3 or $4 a piece, and somebody buys a bunch. Sometimes I sell them locally, sometimes I sell them and ship them. And it's hard to sell you can't sell a $3 book on eBay. You have to like sell about 10 of them all together, but to make money. But if you can do that on Facebook Marketplace, you can actually make a lot more money, a little bit better, even if you're shipping them, because you're not eating up that 20 or 25% that really kind of goes to eBay. The I Survive, I got a stack of I Survive books that I need to put up. I think this week because I finally got enough to kind of put them up. I sell I Survive books all the time on Facebook Marketplace at $3 a piece. Somebody will buy a dozen of them or 8 of them or something like that at one time, and it's an easy flip. So, oh, we're gonna drink to that coffee. So that's what I do on Facebook Marketplace. Craigslist. I'm not gonna say Craigslist is dead, um, but it. I haven't. I need to pop it open, but it's actually a better spot to find stuff sometimes. That's a more I hate the term necessarily term boomer. I think Craigslist was more of a boomer thing, um, and it's kind of fading away, other than maybe for real specific stuff. So that's how that's going. Uh, Final one more find to go with the Nylint stuff is this really cool Tonka hot rod thing. This is about a $30 item. So I always enjoy the yeah, isn't this is cool. I think it would make it real good if you could fit. There's no Joker action figure until modern. This would be great for a Joker action figure. But yeah, this is really cool. So uh, so there was some real fun finds out of that sale. Oh, is that stuff in here? We got one more. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Also, those who know on this stuff. This is technically a Rough Rider by LJN, but this is based more on the more popular ones were made by Shapers called Stompers. These are battery powered little 4x4 cars. They're actually a little more customized, like kind of customizable. You could take the bottoms off and swap tires and do a handful of things with them. And these were real neat and real collectible at one point in time. This one's not worth as much. But I actually just recently sold a tank for parts, a Shaper tank for parts, not working, missing the turret for $15. That one's probably a 15 or so dollar item. So those were always those were always neat, and I love grabbing them. I think it's one of those things that a lot of people don't necessarily know where they are unless you collect them, or if you had them when you were a kid and you realize kind of how cool they are. Cool they are to grab. So that is pretty much. I got a handful of other books, some bread and butter stuff, as I like to term it. And so it was some pretty good finds over the past week. I got to get a few more things listed this afternoon because I think they're going to move and move pretty quickly. We got to get that jump on that and get it going pretty good. So, comments, questions, like, comment, subscribe, ask me stuff. If I don't know the answer, I make something up. So, y'all be good. Go find some stuff. Have a good one.